Listen up, folks. Every year around October, I spend a massive amount of time down here at the range. I watch guys uncase their rifles for that crucial pre-season zeroing session. And without fail, I see some of the most ballistically confused weapon systems imaginable. We are talking about guys choosing their deer rifle based on sheer ego. Or maybe they listen to a clueless salesperson trying to clear out decades-old inventory. Whatever the reason, bringing the wrong tool to the deer woods is a recipe for absolute disaster. Today, we are taking a hard tactical look at 5 cartridges that are functionally obsolete, entirely impractical, or just plain punishing to the shooter. If you are running one of these, you are ignoring modern terminal ballistics. We are going to discuss brutal recoil impulses that completely ruin your trigger control. We will talk about ammunition costs that make high round count training financially impossible. And we are going to expose the ballistic shortcomings that can cost you a trophy animal. Let us dive right into the calibers that need to stay locked up in the gun safe. Number 5. The .458 Winchester Magnum. Starting us off at number 5, we have the .458 Winchester Magnum. Look, if your passport is stamped for sub-Saharan Africa, and you are tracking a 2,000-pound Cape buffalo through heavy brush, this is your huckleberry. It delivers earth-shattering stopping power. But using this African dangerous game cartridge for a standard North American whitetail, or even a high-altitude elk, that is like using a sledgehammer to drive a thumbtack. You are launching a massive projectile generating well over 5,000 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. When you touch off a round that violent, the recoil is not just a heavy push, it is a concussive blast to your skeletal system. That kind of physical punishment breeds a severe flinch reflex in almost every shooter I have ever coached. If you are anticipating that pain, you are jerking the trigger, and your shot placement goes completely out the window. Furthermore, you have to look at the financial damage. A single box of premium expanding ammunition will cost you the equivalent of a steak dinner. You are paying $5 to $10 every time the firing pin drops. Because of that, nobody actually trains with this weapon system, and a hunter who does not train is a massive liability in the woods. On top of that, to tame that monstrous recoil, the rifles themselves have to be built like tanks. You are going to be humping a 9 to 11-pound rifle up the side of a mountain. Your arms will be totally smoked before you even glass your first valley. Add in the fact that the trajectory drops like a cinder block past the 200-yard line, and the .458 Winchester Magnum becomes a terrible choice for North America. Number 4. The 6mm Remington. Moving on to number 4, we are looking at the 6mm Remington. This one hurts the nostalgia crowd, but as instructors, it is time to face facts. Back in its heyday, the marketing guys sold this as the perfect compromise cartridge. A flat-shooting varmint gun that could theoretically drop a buck on the weekend. But fast forward to today, and this cartridge is just utterly outclassed by modern engineering. The foundational issue here lies in the barrel twist rates used by the legacy manufacturers. Those older rifles were built with incredibly slow twist barrels, designed solely to stabilize lightweight varmint bullets. We are talking projectiles ranging from 55 to 100 grains. Sure, you get blistering speeds around 3,100 feet per second. It will absolutely vaporize a coyote. But when you transition to a heavily muscled mule deer, those lightweight bullets lack the sectional density required for deep, ethical penetration. They shed their kinetic energy incredibly fast the moment they impact a heavy shoulder bone. And once you push past 300 yards, the ambient wind will throw those little pills all over the target. Today, the 6.5 Creedmoor has completely put the nail in the coffin for the 6mm Remington. The modern 6.5 utilizes high ballistic coefficient bullets that buck the wind and retain massive amounts of energy downrange. Plus, try walking into your local gun shop and asking for a box of 6mm Remington. They will look at you like you are asking for dinosaur bones. It is a dead caliber. Let it rest in peace. Number 3. The .444 Marlin. Coming in at number 3 is a brush gun legend that simply does not hold up to modern tactical scrutiny, the .444 Marlin. Now, I have a deep appreciation for a classic lever-action rifle. There is a very specific American heritage tied to that manual of arms. But from a purely ballistic perspective, this cartridge is deeply flawed. It was originally engineered to punch through thick timber, throwing a heavy 240-grain slug. At the muzzle, it is an absolute bruiser, packing roughly 3,000 foot-pounds of energy. But aerodynamics were clearly not part of the design phase. The ballistic coefficient of these bullets is essentially identical to a flying brick. Once that bullet crosses the 150-yard mark, the trajectory absolutely nosedives. If you misjudge your target distance by even 10 or 15 yards in the field, your point of impact will shift drastically. That is how you end up completely missing a buck, or worse, making a non-lethal hit. Additionally, the recoil impulse is incredibly sharp. It is not the smooth, rolling push you get from a classic 30-30 Winchester. It snaps back hard, which makes visual tracking and follow-up shots incredibly difficult. And just like our last contender, finding reliable hunting ammunition for the .444 Marlin is a massive headache. You will end up paying custom loader prices just to keep your tube magazine fed. If you want a big-bore lever gun, get a 45-70 Government. The ammunition is everywhere, the modern loads are spectacular, and it will ethically harvest anything from a feral hog to an Alaskan grizzly. Number 2. The .300 Remington Ultra Magnum. At number 2, we have the poster child for ballistic overkill, the .300 Remington Ultra Magnum. A lot of guys buy into this cartridge because they are chasing the ultimate long-range hunting fantasy. On a ballistics chart, it looks like an absolute laser beam. You are getting muzzle velocities exceeding 3,200 feet per second. You are harnessing nearly 4,000 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. But the physical toll this cartridge takes on both the shooter and the weapon system is totally unacceptable. First, let us talk about the recoil. When you chamber this monster in a lightweight synthetic hunting stock, the kick is absolutely punishing. It generates a rearward impulse that easily rivals the massive .338 Lapua Magnum. You cannot execute fundamental marksmanship when your brain is anticipating a car crash against your collarbone. Second, this thing is a notorious barrel burner. You are cramming a massive column of slow-burning powder through a standard .30 caliber bore. The throat erosion is catastrophic. You will shoot out the rifling in your expensive precision rifle in a fraction of the time it takes to wear out a standard Magnum. And do not even get me started on the economics of pulling the trigger. You are burning $3 to $7 every time you cycle the bolt. That is financially unsustainable for any serious training regimen. For harvesting North American game, this is purely an ego caliber. A standard .30-06 Springfield or a .300 Winchester Magnum will do the exact same job, with less physical abuse, cheaper ammo, and significantly longer barrel life. Number 1. The .223 Remington. Taking the top spot at number 1. I know this is going to upset a lot of people in the comments, but as an instructor, I have to speak the truth. The .223 Remington. Let me be perfectly clear right out of the gate. I am a massive advocate for the AR-15 platform. If we are talking about home defense, tactical training, or clearing a property of coyotes, the .223 Remington is spectacular. It is incredibly abundant, and the recoil is virtually non-existent. But as a primary deer cartridge, it is a massive gamble that you should not take. You are launching a very light, very small diameter projectile, typically weighing between 55 and 77 grains. It tops out around 1,200 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. In the world of big game hunting, that is the absolute bare minimum required to create a lethal wound channel. Your margin for error is essentially zero. If your shot placement is off by a single inch, or if the deer quarters toward you at the last second, that lightweight bullet is going to hit heavy shoulder bone and shatter. It will fail to reach the vital organs. I have tracked too many wounded animals through the woods because someone thought their tactical carbine was a magic wand. This is the exact reason numerous state wildlife agencies have explicitly banned .22 caliber centerfire rifles for big game hunting. Furthermore, those light bullets get absolutely manhandled by crosswinds in open terrain. Taking a shot past 200 yards in a stiff breeze is highly unethical with this cartridge. People love to hand a .223 Remington to a new hunter because it does not kick. But giving a novice shooter a caliber with zero room for error is a terrible strategy. Leave the .223 Remington on the flat range. Invest in a dedicated medium-bore hunting rifle that respects the animal and guarantees a clean harvest. All right, that wraps up my list of calibers that belong in the history books, not the deer woods. I am sure some of you lever gun fanatics or speed freaks are completely triggered right now. If you violently disagree with my tactical assessment, drop into the comments section below and let us debate it. I always read your feedback, and I know you guys are not shy. Before you pack up your range bag, make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel so we can keep bringing you the unvarnished truth about firearms and self-defense. And hit that notification bell so you never miss a gear review or ballistic breakdown. Until next time, stay safe, train hard, and I will see you downrange.